Hello, hello. Claire Guest here with William Ravis Real Estate in the Guilford office. And joining me today is Mortgage Guru.
Hi, I'm Brian Skelly, a mortgage banker with William Ravis Mortgage.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining me. And today, little role play. I'm going to pretend I know nothing about buying a house and I need to know how to get started.
Absolutely. So there's a couple things you want to do. If you're thinking about buying a home, it's a good idea to talk to a real estate agent like Claire, and it's a good idea to talk to a mortgage person like me sooner rather than later. So what we do for most home buyers is what's called pre-approval. So if you're going to go out and look at houses and maybe find one you like that you want to make an offer on, typically the sellers are going to want to know, like, hey, is this buyer pre-approved? And you want to be pre-approved when you go look at the house, so you're in a great position if you like it and want to make an offer.
But what if I don't want to sign anything right away? What if I don't want to give everything away? I'm a very private person, but I want to go see a house.
Okay, so there's certain steps that you're just gonna need to do if you want to buy a house. You're gonna have to have a credit check done, and you're gonna need to provide income and asset documents to a mortgage lender. So if you're gonna have to do it eventually, my advice would be you might as well do it sooner rather than later. Just make sure everything looks good. Ideally, they look at all your information. They're like, yeah, income looks good, credit looks good, you got the money for the down payment, here's your pre-approval. But it's not always that simple. Sometimes things are a little complicated. And then, so it's good to have those conversations sooner. That way the mortgage lender can say, hey, you might want to do this or you might want to do that, just to kind of help you get in a better position in case you want to qualify for more,
Or to help you know your budget. That's one thing. Some people don't know
yeah.
their budget.
Yeah, and there's two parts to that. There's one is like how much can you get approved for, and then also how much are you comfortable paying. So those are conversations to have with the mortgage lender. And the best thing to do is, just get started, pick up the phone. You can call a mortgage lender. If you have a real estate agent you're working with, you could say like, hey, who's a good mortgage lender? It's always good to work with somebody that's local, that's recommended, because generally if the real estate agents are saying like, this is a good mortgage person, then they're probably experienced and they probably know what they're doing. Whereas you just go online, it's kind of the luck of the draw. Like you might get somebody that's really good, or you might get somebody that's maybe not so good.
How long does a pre-approval last? Say I get a pre-approval in June 1st. How long can I carry around that piece of paper?
Yeah, so great question. So technically we say the pre-approval letter is good for 4 months because that's how long it takes before the credit report expires. Okay. It's pretty easy for me to update it. So if somebody doesn't buy a house within 4 months, usually it's just a quick phone call. Hey, is everything still the same? You're still on the same job. Is it okay for me to re-pull credit? And they say yes. I just kind of click a couple buttons, update the pre-approval letter, and then you're good for another 4 months.
But every time you check the credit, doesn't that affect your credit?
It does. It's going to show up that we did a credit check. That may cause the score to go down a few points. But like I said, there's certain things you just got to do. If you can't buy a house and get a mortgage without somebody checking your credit. So, if you're planning to buy a house, in the next 6 months, it's a good idea to get pre-approved.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I am Claire Guest with William Ravis Real Estate, and this is Brian Skelly, Mortgage Guru.
I'm plug my website. If you want to get started with the pre-approval, you can schedule a time for a phone call on my calendar at scheduleloanappointment.com.
Beautiful. Thank you. See you soon.